Hello all, BowTieSecurityGuy here. What an interesting week I've had. I've been talking with a mentor of mine, and we were talking about leadership. And the conversation came up that nobody teaches you how to be a leader in technology. Most of the time, you just kind of fall into being a leader. I've had many mentees ask me, like, how did you become a leader? Luck, timing, just you basically help people for a very long time. You work an obscene amount of time, and then at some point they say, hey, you should lead teams. You're basically thrown into it, given absolutely no real guidance on what a leader is. And this is where I think having really bad leaders in the past, micromanagers, people who worked me to absolute death, people who pushed me harder than I'd ever been pushed before, taught me more than I realized. I'm not saying I'm thankful for them because of their behavior, because I find that type of leader deplorable. But what I do find really interesting is I've learned more from the bad leadership examples that I've seen than I have from good. Because when you have a bad leader, you know how that makes you feel. You know how it feels to be just feel like you're literally contributing nothing or that you have no voice or no say. But what you're learning is what not to do if you ever become a leader. For me, I really, really was pushed into leadership because of what I saw at the leadership level in certain areas, either teams that I worked for or teams that I was a part of, or teams that were, adjacent to my team and how leaders treated people. I looked at all of the bad things that they did, and when I became a leader, I did the opposite. I took time out to care about my people, not in the we're family, I'm going to work you to death kind of way, but in the, hey, like, you are my success. I'm going to do everything in my power to make you as good as you can be and to support you in any way I can. And that includes allowing you an environment that you can fail in. I can't tell you how many times I've been yelled or screamed at by leaders I chose when I became a leader. I would never do that. It's like a lot of the things that I think make me a good leader now, the reason I do those things is because it's the polar opposite of the things that I had to deal with, because I just refuse to ever do that to someone. So if you're looking to kind of get into leadership from a technical side, there's no easy path. Really just try to help people out. Be there when somebody needs you, whether that's a person to complain to or somebody who needs help solving a technical problem. Leadership isn't about title. Leadership is about attitude. Being a boss, that's a title. Right? You can boss people around. You can lead by fear. You can threaten people's jobs, and yep, they're going to work and they're going to perform, but they're going to hate every minute of it. But being a leader, it's just about being a good person, trying to help your team out, removing roadblocks. When your team knows that you have their back, they can accomplish so much because they're not afraid to try new things. They're not afraid to push boundaries. If you're in an area where you're trying to innovate, if you have a leader that you're afraid of, innovation is dead. Because you're so afraid of failure, you're not going to innovate anything. You're just going to try to keep the lights on, keep your head down so you don't get yelled at. And there's a lot of those leaders in technology, but it's not their fault. Most of them fell into it. Like I said, when you become a leader, like you're not taught anything most of the time. It's just, congrats, you're a leader now. Try not to mess it up. I mean, you have people's careers, in your hands, your decisions and all of those things can impact people's lives. But most places don't put time into their leadership. And it's kind of wild to me. I was at Disney for a very long time, and I was a leader for a long time before I had any sort of official training. That's gotten better. The company I'm at now does awesome with that. They have great training courses. They have a bunch of awesome stuff. Like I was pretty impressed coming on and actually getting some decent training as far as like, hey, this is what we expect of you. But most places just simply don't have that. So work with your leader if he's a bad leader or an aggressive leader and make it very clear why you feel that way. Many of these people don't even realize they're being micromanagers or bullies. That's just how they learned. That's what they were taught. And they decided instead of what I did, which is the polar opposite, they decided that's must be how you lead. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of share that. I thought it was very interesting that in your life, a lot of times those people that you kind of hated the most or people who caused you the most heartache are also the ones that taught you the most. I kind of live by the motto of embrace the uncomfortable. And I think this is one of those moments that, you know, the being in a bad situation and having, you know, some really, really bad leaders in my past, um, helped me be the leader I am today because I just never wanted to be anything like them ever. That's all I got. Have a good week. Enjoy your 3-day weekend if you have one, and good luck out there.